So this is all about eliminating, or I like to say eradicating limiting beliefs. Rexine has chosen a really cool belief. Again, I think females will relate to it, but males can relate to it as well. What is the limiting belief we're going to be working with, Rex?
That I will experience true love again.
Now, that is going to be your empowering belief, but what was the limiting belief you've had around this? You told me one day.
That I didn't think it would happen again for me.
Right, right. I think you said specifically that I probably experienced my last, Rexine lost her husband a few years ago, and she had said, I think I've had my last true love. Okay. And so that is a limiting belief, right? And so this is what we're going to be dealing with first, and then we're going to flip over to the empowering belief. So I want to unpack that belief a little bit. And how we're going to do that, I have three questions to ask you. The first one is, what led you to believe that? That you had your last true love? What led you to believe that?
Probably one, because it's so challenging. I won't say difficult. It's so challenging meeting anybody. Two, at this point in my life, which would kind of go along with that, um, I'm just not really available because my life is kind of locked down.
Mm-hmm.
So, um,
Because you're
a
taking care of your
care,
mother,
yeah,
caregiver. Okay.
yeah.
So those are that's understandable, but that's what led you to believe it. How does that belief affect your thinking, your decisions, your feelings? How's that belief affecting your life in those ways?
Um, One, I would say it makes you not even look forward. It's just kind of a give up type
Okay.
attitude, if you will. Um, and probably the other one is a level of maybe sadness, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
It does. Okay. And the last question for unpacking this belief is, what does this belief cause you to believe about yourself or others or the world?
Well, again, from a worldwide standpoint, um, trying to navigate even meeting anybody at this age, it
Mhm.
it seems almost I don't want to say impossible because I know that there are a lot of single men out there, but the challenge of meeting somebody and then being available uh,
Mhm.
is I don't know, just makes you feel like, okay, well, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, okay.
And what does it cause you to believe about yourself?
About myself,
Hmm.
um, I guess one of the concerns would be as you are aging, as I am aging, um, you're not as, um, I don't want to say attractive because I don't believe that, but you're not as, I don't want to say not youthful because I still feel like I'm very youthful, but your body changes. So that
Hmm.
cute, tight shape that you had before and, didn't have wrinkles and all of that stuff, as you age, that stuff changes.
So I'm
So,
not as cute as I used to be.
okay. And the body ain't as, um, although the body still looks pretty good, but it's not what it used to be.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
It,
Yeah.
which changes your confidence level.
Hmm.
And I am a confident person, but I do at times find myself feeling somewhat insecure.
Right, right. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
When, as you think about that belief that I've probably already had my last great love, what are you, what are you feeling as you think about that belief? What feelings surface? You know, let yourself really be there and tell me what feelings are surfacing.
Sadness,
Hmm.
loneliness, um, a desire to uh, to love again, me love somebody and somebody love me, and the thought of not having that again, like I said, um, sadness and loneliness, I probably would say the most,
Hmm.
as far as feelings.
And as you feel that sadness and loneliness, as you're thinking about this belief, what thoughts come to mind? What are you saying that's causing the sadness and the loneliness?
Because you don't have that um what's the word I'm trying to say? You don't have that a relationship where you um have someone that you can interact with, that you can spend time with. Uh,
So I don't have, so you might be saying I don't have someone that I can interact with or spend someone I can spend time with.
right, that's of the opposite sex.
Yeah.
So, you know,
And think into it a little bit more because it's the thoughts around, it's the thoughts are creating the sadness and the loneliness. So you want to get in touch with what are you thinking or what are you saying to yourself when you think about, I've already had my last great love. This is one, but what else are you thinking or saying?
um, that this is something that I need to accept.
Hmm.
Um, that um, maybe it's not as maybe I need to change the way I'm thinking about it because maybe it's not as bad as I think it is. And then I honestly I think about and this may sound crazy, but I do think about when the time comes that I'm dying, departing this world, that I don't have that support from someone that would be there to um, help me cross easy, like I did with Nate.
Hmm.
I won't have that type of support.
And as you think about all of that, and as you're feeling all that you talked about, what are you picturing? Go back and see if you can find, because you're always picturing something. What are you picturing in your head or imagining?
Mm. Picturing a day to day of even being in my house, day to day, or by myself, or sitting on a park bench by myself. Uh,
Hmm.
you know, not really partaking in the joys. I don't want to say the joys of life, because I have family and I have my kids and that kind of stuff. But again, from the standpoint of a relationship, that piece is not there. So even
Hmm.
as much as you interact with your children and you really enjoy them and the grandchildren and all of that, that piece is
Hmm.
there. You go throughout the day and, oh, I had a good day. And, it was laughter and it was fun, but now it's time to come home and you're getting ready for bed and you lay in the bed and it's you,
Right, right.
or you didn't necessarily, you got up that morning and you're sitting in the kitchen having a cup of coffee and, you know, no one comes through the door or no one calls to see how your day is. And I'm not
Mhm,
talking about your sibling or friend, or I'm talking about that relationship. There's no one calling to see if there's anything that you need, or the,
mhm,
there's something going on, even with the house, the grass, the car, or whatever. And I have to take care of all of it because there's no one there that
mhm.
you're in a relationship with that will take care of that kind of stuff. So
Okay.
there's a it's like having a cup that's empty.
hmm Let me ask you this, and this is a very important question. As a matter of fact, let me explain it. Right, I'll ask you, and then give me a moment. I'll make sure you know what it is. What are you making up beyond the facts? What are you adding to the situation? Ads look like this. If I was doing a presentation somewhere for 20 people and the person in the front row fell asleep, or at least appeared to be asleep, all I know is they have their eyes closed, really. But obviously, I can add that they're asleep. And then I might add that they're sleeping because they're bored. I might
Mm-hmm.
continue to add that probably the other 19 people are bored as well. They're just much nicer than this person is. So we can keep adding things beyond the facts. What are you adding beyond the actual facts in this situation?
Um, Really, I guess if I really looked at it, I could say I'm adding all of it. You know,
Yeah, pretty much, right? Right. Okay.
truthfully, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because it's my perception,
hmm
what I perceive that it will be like. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I don't know that, but
Exactly. Those are most of what you said are ads,
right,
that you won't have someone and you'll be sitting on the bench and you'll be lonely, this and that. Those are ads, right? Because none of that hasn't happened as of yet.
right,
Uh, and the whole concept is an ad, really. It's like you don't know that you've had your last great love. That's just something how you've interpreted the situation.
right.
So, what do you see, or notice right now, but how your focus has actually uh shaped how you feel internally and how you've shaped how you're experiencing your reality. What have you noticed about how your focus has created that?
Um,
When you look back over what we've just discussed.
I don't dwell on those thoughts, if that makes sense. I don't give them a lot of time.
Yeah, I hear that, but it, unconsciously we don't. But that's your interpretation of the situation. So that is like part of your thought life.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's what we're doing this for. This phase right here is most of this goes on outside of our awareness. So we don't think we're thinking about it, but we are. And so this process is to uncover that, become aware of that. And so like you knew you were feeling sadness, but you weren't necessarily tying all of this together. So
Mm-hmm.
we're tying it all together right now. And this last question is just to say, what have you, when you look back over how you've been feeling, how you've been thinking, these are ways of focusing, what you've been picturing, what you've been making up. I'm asking you, what do you notice or see? What's your aha about how all of that has actually created how you feel internally and how you have, the reality that you're experiencing as it pertains to this? What have you noticed how that is in your focus, your thoughts, your feelings, your picturing? How have you noticed how that's impacted you? What have you noticed about that?
Uh, Really, I think. honestly, I think I tend to focus on it too much at times,
Mm-hmm.
which causes the quiet times, if you will, at night, or to bring about the sadness or the loneliness. Because really, during the course of the day, let's just say I'm riding to go pick up my granddaughters, which takes a little while. It's about a 35, 40 minute ride. And, I'm listening to music or whatever. And so then the thoughts start coming in as far as, okay, well, yeah, it might be a little fun. You're going to get the grandkids, but good Lord of mercy. Can we go on a date? Can somebody be calling to say, hey, what you doing? What you got going on? Let's go out to dinner, or let's go to somebody asking you something. And so
Right.
those thoughts feed into the uh, laying in the bed at night sad or feeling lonely because
Okay.
you're not getting ain't no calls.
Right, 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 right.
Who's calling? Nobody.
So
Yeah.
you see how your focus, that's a aha right there. You see how your focus is really creating it. What you're focusing on is
Yeah.
bringing about the sadness and all of that. What I'm
Which
going to
brings
do.
on the thought that, yeah, well, it probably never happened for me again.
Right, right, exactly, exactly. So
Mm-hmm.
that's an important thing to recognize. But what we're going to do, because we're going to be flipping all of that in a few moments. But before we flip that, we want to crash this this limiting belief. And so I want you to take all of that you've been thinking about, and I want you to go ahead and bring up that situation where you that you're feeling right now. Bring up that belief with all the feelings that come along with it. And I want you to see what you see, hear what you hear, and allow yourself to feel what you would normally be feeling in that moment, and let it all come up just strong, just enough so that you can recognize it, and let me know when you have it there.
The feelings.
The feelings, the belief, everything. Just
Oh,
let me
yeah,
know when you got
it's
it.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So good. So now I want you to gently increase just enough so that you feel it in your body. And then I want you to keep turning it up on a scale of 1 to 10 or 0 to 10. And tell me where you're at right now on a scale of 1 to 10 and feeling that.
Um, so I'm not at 10 because
Where you at?
if I was at 10, I'd be crying.
Okay, well, yeah, okay. Well, we don't want tears right now. So where can you be? How high can you be without crying?
Um, I could probably be at a 7.
Okay, so are you at a 7 yet?
Yeah,
Tell
I'm
me
at
when you get. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to dissociate from that. What I want you to do is I want you to grab that entire experience. You can even just put your hand on your head right here and just grab it. And I want you to grab that whole picture, those feelings and all. I want you to just throw it to the floor. And I want you to see well, hold it, grab it, see yourself in the picture, and then throw it to the floor. And I want you to let that picture go to black and white, let it come very small, maybe the size of a postage stamp, even just a small little picture, and just let all the emotions and the energy drain out of that picture, and just leave it there on the floor for right now.
I did.
Okay, go ahead. Look at it down there now. Just small, about the size of a postage stamp. And
Yeah.
now, what I want you to do now is I want you to shift your attention. Close your eyes, and I want you to step into a state where you feel very strong, very in control. In fact, I want you to think about all 13 or 14 of those grandchildren, how many it is. I've lost count. I want you to think about all of those grandchildren, how much you love them, and just let that love build and build and build. And just And just keep breathing into your body and just let it get stronger and stronger. And when you get it to a 10, let me know.
It's a 10.
Okay, so now I want you to stay in that same state and I want you to open your eyes. And while you're in that same strong state, I want you now to look down at that picture on the floor. Look
Mhm.
at that picture and notice what's happening. Notice how it changes and it breaks apart and just fades or loses all intensity. And just let that powerful state override it completely. And when it's totally dissolved, let me know.
Mhm.
Just keep looking at it if you need to.
So you're seeing the love and the intensity that I
Yeah,
have for the grandchildren
yeah.
to
Just hold
let
on to
it
that.
abolish.
Yes, hold on to that in your body and in your mind right now, and look at that little picture on the floor
Okay,
until it breaks apart.
okay.
And let me know when you feel it's overpowered.
I would say it's overpowered.
Mm, okay, I think so. Good. Okay, now take a breath and just shake it off and come back to now. So, the next important thing, and you started with this, so I know you have this. What is the new empowering belief that you want to have instead of my last love is gone? What's the decision? You're going to make a decision.
So if I were to be honest, I would say I do believe that it can happen
Now,
again.
I want you to decide what you want to happen.
Ugh.
What do you want to happen? I want you to decide that.
I want it to happen.
So, what do you want to happen?
I want to have someone that loves me and someone I love.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, because I miss that.
Okay. Now, all limiting beliefs are decisions. All beliefs are decisions. All limiting beliefs are decisions. Like the belief that you have, like maybe that was my last great love. You decided that
Hmm.
either consciously or unconsciously.
Hmm.
So getting a new belief is really just about making a new decision and then finding evidence to support that decision. So that's what we're going to do now. This is the last phase of what we're going to be doing. I want you to start thinking. I'll give you some more instructions first, but this is what we're going to be doing. I want you to think about what evidence do you have that this new decision is true? We're not looking for certainty. We're looking for evidence that suggests this decision is true. All the decisions and beliefs that you have that are limiting, they're lies. That's your indication that they're lies. The truth is the decisions you want is out there. It's that belief is real. So we're going to start with just deciding off just top of the head. I'm going to give you some other ways to approach it. But for right now, I just want you to go off the top of your head and decide what evidence do I have that I can find someone that I love and that loves me. Okay. Give you an example. Even if the evidence is small or incomplete, all the evidence counts. The big evidence, the little evidence, the incomplete evidence. Like incomplete evidence might be if somebody was believing they wanted to believe I can trust myself. So they might say, well, I chose to eat today and I chose what I ate today instead of reacting. That may be a small thing, but I trusted. I was able to do that. That's evidence that I can trust myself. I wanted to do that and I did that. Or I had a feeling about something and I followed it even a little. Maybe they didn't follow it all the way, but they had an instinct about something and they followed it. They trusted themselves. Or I didn't overthink one decision. Maybe they overthought 10 decisions, but they didn't overthink one. They saying that's evidence that I can trust myself.
Hmm.
So I want you to think about right now, what evidence do you have that you could trust that not that you can trust yourself, but that you can find someone that loves you and that you love. What evidence exists just off the top of your head?
Um, I guess in a nutshell, without giving all the bits and the pieces, I'm such a great catch.
Okay.
I am still, and I guess that's part of being a great catch. Um, I can be uh, in that situation, I can be a really, really good friend. I can be a
I
best friend, but that might be part of being a good catch too.
No, it's all that's all good. No, you
Oh,
break it if it's broken apart, it's all good. Because I want you to come up with at least 20 pieces of evidence tonight.
oh, honey, that I'm still very vibrant. I'm still very energetic. I'm spiritually grounded. I am very, I'm well grounded. I'm easygoing. Um, I'm funny. I'm very, um, I want to say versatile, but I don't know if that's the word. Flexible. I'm very flexible.
Okay.
Hmm. Most people like me. I have a personality that most people like me.
Mm-hmm.
Very genuine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very, maybe this goes together, but I am, even at this age, I'm very sensual and very sexy still.
Sensual.
So I've been told.
The word on the street. Okay. Uh, what,
Still
what,
feel that way.
what else?
How many is it?
That's nine. You're doing good. You're doing good. Here, I want you to do this. Go back from the time you were a little girl, as far back as you can go in your memory. What evidence you can find? Just go back from that and just come all the way to up to today. What evidence can you find in your past that would tell you that you could find a great love and you
I'm,
could and be in love?
I'm easy to talk to.
Okay.
Uh, I give, I do have a lot of wisdom. I give good advice. I have the ability to look at the glass and explain to somebody how the glass can be half empty or half full.
Mm-hmm.
Love very deep, and my love is pure. I'm a giver.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy as it sounds, my personality is such that most people remember me.
Mm-hmm.
Did I? I'm a great communicator. I have the ability to get in where I fit in, which I guess is being flexible.
Mm-hmm. That's okay.
I don't put unrealistic expectations on people. I accept people for who they are. I have the ability to identify the best in people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm truthful. I'm not materialistic. Now that ought to be 20.
Okay, but I want to hear I want to hear this. What about what about relationships in the past? Is that not evidence for you? Have you had great loves, great relationships?
Because every relationship I've ever been in, and it hasn't been a lot, truthfully, um, the ones that broke up, they regretted it for the rest of their lives. They regretted um,
Hmm.
the relationship that they messed up with me. And I'm being very truthful. Every guy I ever dated, even from high school, the Charles Kings, um, the Willie Millers, Lord, still to this day, Earl Smith to the day he died. Um, really, those are the only three relationships I really had. Um, yeah, they regretted it, and
And what about
and
your
has, and has said to me, the biggest mistake I ever made was letting you go.
hmm what about the one that didn't let you go? What evidence that your marriage does that give you that you could have a great loving relationship going forward?
um, just things that he would say to me. One, um, he would say, "I need to call that." You know, he called everybody a certain name. I need to call him and thank him for for messing up. Um, he would say often that he knew that I was his favor from God. You know, the words say, "A man that findeth a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from God." He would often say, "I know you are my favor from God. I know I'm blessed because of you."
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
Hmm.
I had a guy tell me one time, and we didn't date, but we actually worked together. And I had never heard this term before. But he said to me, he said, "Rex, you a keeper." I said, "What's a keeper?" He said, "You the type of woman a man keeps. You're not the type that a man mess around with or play around with, or you do the other lady or woman or whatever." He said, "You the type that a man keeps."
Hmm.
I was like, "Oh, I'm a keeper."
Hmm.
Uh, so I know without a shadow of a doubt that I'm a good woman. I know that. Took me years to learn it, to figure it out, but I know that I am. Even with this last dating relationship that I was in, he would often tell me, "You're a good woman." I know.
What about the fact that your brother got remarried at 60?
It gives me hope.
No, it does that's evidence
Yeah,
that it happens.
that's what I'm saying. It gives me hope. It
Yeah.
does. Uh, the flip side of it, which is I guess the downside for
No,
me.
we're not looking at downsides. We're
Okay,
looking
okay,
at we're looking at evidence that
okay,
because you'll find evidence both ways. And the challenge is you've been looking at the evidence of the other side.
yeah. Well, it definitely gives me hope.
Uh, so you're going forward. What you're looking for every day this week, you're reading this list and you're looking for evidence that your decision that you've made is true. It's out there. People. What about evidence? Uh, you can even search evidence. How many are there other people that get married at your age?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Oh, all the time. Okay, that's evidence.
A friend of mine and Nate's just recently, maybe I don't even know if it's been 2 months yet, and he's older than I am. Just remarried, just got married.
That's evidence.
Yeah.
So think of more evidence. What other evidence can you think of that that decision is true? That's a real belief. that I can love somebody again and they can love me.
Yeah, I mean, if I look at, people's lives that I know that, met somebody um, later in life, and you know, they're just Diane and Bill.
There you go.
hmm So yeah, I know it's possible.
No, yeah, it's they're not possibly married. They're married.
Right.
It's
But I'm
more than possible. It's actually happening.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So it's it that you it's a decision
yeah.
that you make that creates the belief that you have. What other evidence do you have? You're on a roll. You're at 30 now.
Wow. Um, um, what other evidence?
Will you give me one more and we'll break for the sake of the tape.
Well, I have um after much conversations with family members and friends, and I have learned to open myself up more and to be more approachable, not have tunnel vision when I get out my car or walk into a place or even in public. Just don't have tunnel vision. I'm going to here to get what I'm going to get, and I'm not looking at anybody. And now I just kind of, if I catch somebody looking, or I tend to look around a little bit and speak, simply speak.
Hmm.
So
Great. So you did 10 beyond what I was expecting. You did 30. And you have uh in part two we'll do, not tonight, but we'll do part two. In fact, I need to do part two for next week. So we'll do that. We're going to look at other ways to see this. But so far, I want to know what your reflections are. What do you notice after looking at this evidence?
that it definitely can happen.
There you go. Wow, that's good.
I'll even go so far as to say it will happen. It will happen for you.
There you go. Well, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
who wouldn't want me?
Okay, this is a demo video. My
I
sister is a
know.
little crazy, let me tell you, but no, and yeah, all of the stuff that you talked about since I've known you all your life, a year longer than you've known me. Yeah, all that's real. I know all that's real. No, you never meet a stranger. You're one of the nicest people anybody could meet. So yeah, and you just this process helps you bring all that to the surface and
Right.
start switching your focus. And then as we switch our focus, we start realizing, wow, I can find as much evidence for finding a great love as I can for I've had my last great love. I can find evidence that would support that just as much. And then your attention now, even after tonight, your attention is going to start focusing in on things will start popping up in your head about this evidence. And also, what I want you to do, I'm going to send this to you, I want you to read it every day for the next 7 days.
Okay.
And each day, I want you to add more evidence. And then we're going to reunite and we'll do another demo to show the guys the second half of this.
Okay.
So you stay on for a sec. But guys, this has been a demo for observational thinking 3.0. Look forward to make sure you get ready for the class on Wednesday. Look forward to seeing you.